Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Court Ziegler. I am one of the assistant boys and girls track and field coaches here at West Ottawa. Specifically, I coach the throw, shot, and disc. Today, we're going to talk about some psychological interventions that we are going to hopefully implement this year. We're going to talk about them as they perceive to each sport, to each event. We're going to talk about how we can implement it not just here, but a little bit at home as well. Three that we are going to talk about, three that we're going to talk about are going to be self-confidence, goal setting, and motivation. If you have any questions throughout the time, don't hesitate to stop me. I would love to be able to answer any questions that you have. But I'll break it down. We'll talk about positives, we'll talk about negatives, and we're going to talk about how to implement each and every single one of those different evaluations. First one we're going to talk about, self-confidence. So self-confidence, definition of it is that it's the belief that you can achieve a certain, or you can perform a desired behavior. So this means that you're going to talk about being able to perform at your best level. Now everyone's level is going to be a little bit different, but we want people to be able to perform at their best level. One of the beauties about track is that you're going to see all sorts of different levels, and everyone's just trying to do the best that they can at any given moment. This isn't like football where there might be a couple of people that are sitting on the bench. It's not like basketball where you have 3 or 4 people just sitting on the end of the bench who never get to play. Track, everyone gets to run, everyone gets to jump. They get to try every single event. So we want to be able to make sure that they give their best effort. It's been proven multiple times that self-confidence does perform and allow people to perform better. One study that I found split people into 2 different groups, and for 12 weeks, one group performed self-confidence routines in which they were self-positive, they were talking to themselves positively, talking to each other positively, different sorts of activities to promote self-confidence, and the other group was not doing those same kind of drills. They found that the group that performed the self-confidence skills, practiced them, performed better, they improved more than the group that did not. So again, just another link to be able to say that self-confidence is a positive benefit to performance. And we'll talk about benefits and versus consequences as we go. First thing we're going to talk about is going to be the benefits of self-confidence. Confidence arouses positive emotions. If you're confident, I'm confident, they're confident, everyone's going to be confident, and we're going to be positive around each other. Even in a negative situation, well, crap, I lost to the kid that I thought I was supposed to beat. Yeah, but you got a PR. That's a great thing. Trying to find the positives inside the negatives. That will help boost self-confidence. Facilitates concentration. If you're self-confident, you'll be able to focus in. You'll be able to weed out all the distractions, especially at big meets like invites, regional, state. There's a lot of different sort of anomalies that are going to potentially throw you off. If you're positive amongst yourself, you're going to be able to perform better. It affects your goals too. If you're confident about yourself and about how you're performing, your goals will be more positive and be able to accomplish more of your goals. That's a great thing. It will increase your effort. So if I'm self-confident, I'm going to give my max effort. If self-confidence is waning a little bit, maybe I'm not as confident in my abilities, I'm having an off day, I'm having an off week, be able to increase my effort, that will be huge in overcoming some of those negatives. It affects game strategy. If I have someone who's confident, they're throwing really well, they're running really well, we're going to put them in more situations in which they can be successful. And it also affects performance in that same way as well. Strategy is how we're going to stack people up against different opponents. Performance is obviously you're going to be more positive, you're going to perform well, you're going to see more of those successes that you've set out to try to achieve. Some negatives to self-confidence, there is such thing as too much self-confidence. Oftentimes those who have too much self-confidence are built on a bedrock of shaky perception of themselves. Usually that perception's off, it's not right, it's flawed, so it's easily shaken. And we'll talk about an inverse U here in a little bit and how quickly people can move from side to side, but oftentimes if they have too much self-confidence, it's very shaky. Too high of expectations equals low self-confidence. And that's put on not just by the athlete, but by the parents at home. You will get a college scholarship in this sport, and you will go to college on that scholarship. You will be an Olympian because that's what we are. Therefore, you will do this sport. Don't set those expectations so high. Let the athletes set their expectations and encourage and be positive. That's how we're going to be as well. We're going to have everyone set expectations. Yeah, we want high expectations, but we also want to take steps to get to that. And we'll talk about that when we talk about goals here in a little bit, but not setting expectations too high. And then not buying into self-confidence. If you sit there and say, let's be positive, let's talk positive, let's be confident, but if you're not going to buy into it, then it's not going to be as effective, it's not going to be as positive, and therefore the goal of it is kind of lost. So this is the inverse U that I talked about. Over here you have your performance, low to high. Down here you have underconfident versus overconfident. Right here is that moderate line, and as you see, we have this kind of U looking thing. It is skewed a little bit to the right here. And right here we see just right. And you notice it's leaning towards the overconfident side. You would think it'd be right here in the middle. You need to be a little bit overconfident. Yeah, great, I won a championship, but I got to thank my teammates. Yeah, that's a good thing, but you also want to be a little bit overconfident. But like I said, if you are way over here and you're thinking you're the best player that's ever played a sport, if you think that you're LeBron James but you can barely dribble a basketball, you're going to be way over here. And then as soon as someone sees you're not that good, you're going to go right back over here. So that's why I'm talking about going side to side very effectively. But if you stay up here, that's a very good place to be. You're going to be your self-confidence is going to be high, but you're also going to be able to control yourself a little bit more, be able to talk about yourself a little bit more in a positive sense, while also being a little bit more humble. So implementation of self-care or self-confidence, positive atmosphere. All right, we're going to be positive as coaches. We're going to try to teach the athletes to be positive themselves. By being positive in an atmosphere, it creates a more inviting atmosphere as well. So, and by doing that, we're going to do that through positive interactions. We know every day is not going to be the best day. Snow's coming. It's dark all the time right now. It is not as much fun as we want it to be. Boyfriend broke up with you. Girlfriend broke up with you. You failed the test you thought you were going to ace. Whatever. There's a million outside distractions. But by creating a positive atmosphere through positive interactions, we will hopefully be able to propel positive self-confidence. Even if it's for the 2-3 hours that the athlete's with us, kind of shutting out the world and being positive. And hopefully that'll switch the mindset as well. Well, I didn't do so well on the test. Maybe there's something that I missed. I got to go talk to my teacher tomorrow. Just kind of refocusing people. 0 negative interactions. Now we know negative interactions are going to happen, but if we set it at 0, make sure that we stay positive and setting SMART goals. All right, SMART goals we're going to talk about here in a little bit, but those again, setting those SMART goals and achieving those SMART goals come with the self-confidence. So, goal setting. So just to be straight up honest, those who set goals are more successful. Proven time and time again. For as long as we've been a civilization on the face of this earth, those who set goals are more successful. Ooh, I'm hungry. Wife and kids need to eat. We need to be able to survive. The ice age is coming. We need to eat. My goal for today, I need to get a tiger. Get a tiger. Goal setting, even way back then. Nowadays, a little bit different, obviously. So we want to be able to, those who set goals are more successful. We've seen it time and time and time and time again. Objective versus subjective goals. Objective goals are goals that are focused on a specific standard of proficiency on a task, usually within a specific amount of time. So setting goals on a specific task in a perfect amount of time. So I want to be able to work on my rotation today. I want to be able to work on my starts today. I want to be able to, for the next 45 minutes, be able to focus and work on my jumping point, that sort of stuff. Subjective goals are general statements of intent that may not be measurable or objective. So an example of a subjective goal, I want to run better. I want to throw further. I want to jump higher. No real timetable, no real, set amount of time, goals, anything on it. I want to jump higher. Cool. How do we want to jump higher? All that sort of stuff. We'll talk about that with our SMART goals. Types of goals, outcome, obviously. We want to be able to see the end result. I want to be able to get an A on my test, outcome based. I want to be able to run a sub 10 second 100 meter dash, outcome based. Performance, kind of along the same lines, a little bit different, but It's like setting a new personal record would be a good example of that one. And then process, those goals are focused on the actions of an individual must engage during performance to execute or perform well. So I gotta shut the world out so I can focus on this task right now and then be able to perform the best that I can. SMART goals, as you see right over here, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. All right, specific, I want to be able to throw the shot put 45 feet. Measurable, 45 feet. Achievable, well, if you're throwing 42 feet, definitely. Relevant, well, shot put thrower. Time bound, that's the thing we missed. By the end of the season. Good. I want to be able to run a sub 5-minute mile by the end of the season. If you're a 5-10 runner right now, definitely. It's specific, it's measurable, achievable, relevant, all that sort of stuff. I want to be able to run a sub 20-second 200, and you're running 30-second 200 by the end of the year? No, not going to happen, sorry. We want to talk about specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant. And then obviously time bound. Those are the goals that are going to be more successful. So some positive setting goals. Again, those who set goals are more successful. Flat and simple, pretty easy. It gives us something to strive for. All right, by setting these goals, it gives us something to shoot for. We'll talk about a mountain here in a little bit, but it gives us something to go for. Shows success to everyone, not just those who win. Again, track's great where everyone gets to participate no matter what. So even if I have a kid who maybe has a bad day, doesn't throw as far as they think they did, okay, we're going to lift their spirits, we're going to be positive, we're going to keep their self-confidence high, but I have a kid over here who set a PR and just crushed their goal. That's awesome. It gives everyone something to shoot for, and it keeps motivation high. Again, keeps that self-confidence high. That's what we're shooting for. That's great. Some negatives, setting expectations again too high. Kind of going back to the self-confidence thing, knocks you down a little bit. Again, stating you're going to run a sub 20 200 when there's only been 4 people in the world to do it, maybe not the best goal, but setting expectations too high does lead to a negative. Not achieving goal equals failure. Again, we'll talk about like the SMART goal, and we'll talk about the mountain here in a little bit, but we want to be able to see the silver lining no matter what. So not achieving your goal equals failure? Not always. And then there are situations where you become too focused on your goal and not on the team. Sometimes people become so zoned in, I want to be able to run this, I want to be able to do this, I want to be able to jump this. You don't keep the team mind in focus. We want to be able to keep that team atmosphere still in focus. So implementing some goal settings. So us as coaches, we're going to help set goals for practice, meets, and season. So a goal for practice is I want to come in for the 2 hours every day, focus, and not complain. Great. Meets, I want to be able to perform the best that I can, to be able to achieve some PRs, to be able to continue to improve. Awesome. Season, I want to be able to go to state, I want to be able to go to regionals, I want to be able to be varsity for every meet, I want to be able to set a new PR every meet, that sort of stuff. We want to talk about those individually. Help set goals that are challenging but reasonable. Again, if I have someone who's not even crossing over 30, I want them to be able to throw 35 by the end of the season. I'm not going to tell them to set a goal that's 45 feet. That's a little bit ridiculous. We want to be reasonable with our goals. Keeping goals in place that can be seen as well. Again, that goes back to the measurable. If we can see it, we'll be able to achieve it. And then being positive if not achieved. My goal was 35 feet. I threw 34 feet 6 inches. I didn't get my goal. Yeah, but you PR'd by 4.5 feet. That's huge. Keeping positive even if they don't achieve those goals. All right. So we're going to talk about the mountain, how to climb the mountain. So one of the things that I like to talk about is objects are put in your way to see if what you're working for is really worth fighting for. As we climb a mountain, we hit each summit. So we start over here, small goal, and we keep improving. And as we go, we get to the bigger goal. All right, small goal. Let's talk about shot put. I want to throw 50 feet. Fantastic. Right now, you have someone who's throwing 40 feet. So my small goal for this one might be I want to be to practice every single day on time, and I want to be able to work on my rotation. Great. Rotation's starting to come down. I want to be able to move quicker. Great. I want to be able to maintain my body control. Great. I want to be able to finish strong. Good. I want to be able to switch my feet. Good. I've hit my goal of 45 feet. Now I'm narrowing in on 50. I want to be able to finish stronger, finish up tall. Good. I want to be able to yell a little bit louder. I want to be able to see that distance. Big goal, just going to hit it hard. You got to set those steps as you climb the mountain. You don't just go from the base of the mountain all the way to the top. You got to hit those summits to be able to achieve your goal. One way that we can do that is something that we haven't talked about yet, and that's imagery. So imagery, just to kind of get us refocused here on something that's different, imagery is a subject that has been done for a long time, both in sports and outside of sports. It's a form of simulation that's similar to a sensory experience where it's going to be kind of, closing your eyes, imagining yourself, kind of seeing yourself, hearing yourself, smelling the smells, tasting the taste, all that sort of stuff, feeling the air. That's all rolled into imagery. And that helps out with the psychological explanations of just you see yourself succeeding. You see yourself achieving those goals. Helping to be able to see how you're going to succeed is all going to go into being a huge part in achieving goals. Attention arousal set, when you're in your imagery, you want to be able to imagine your attention. You want to keep your attention focused on that. That'll increase arousal. That will increase the chances of success. And we talked about it, and we're going to talk about internal versus external imagery. Internal imagery, imagine putting a GoPro on your head and being able to see what you're going to see. That's exactly what it is. Seeing what you're going to see from your perspective. I do it all the time. I'm going to be able to say this, I'm going to say this, and this is how I'm going to do it. It's imagery. External would be me watching someone else throw. And that's someone else viewing themselves from my point. I'm standing over here watching while they throw. AKA, you're putting themselves in the coach's shoes. That's internal versus external imagery. It works for everyone. Some people like internal, some people like external. It's all personal opinion. So some positives, some imagery positives. You want to see yourself succeed. Again, keeping those goals achievable. You get a better image of how to execute. To be able to see yourself succeed, to be able to execute at a better, higher level. Positive mindset keeps you very focused on that goal, and then interactions with the muscles being used. If you imagine vividly enough, your muscles will actually be involved in what you're imagining. So it'll be a better performance. Some negatives, images of grandeur. Again, setting those goals too high, not going to be able to succeed achieve those goals. Sometimes those images are too big. You want to be able to keep those images obtainable. Doesn't transfer to a positive mindset. Yeah, I've imagine myself succeeding over and over and over again. Just doesn't quite transfer. Wrong imagery could happen when you're put into a situation that's not even attainable. I'm going to make the game-winning shot. Great, you don't even play basketball. How are you going to make a game-winning shot? You want to keep it in the right state of mind. And it may increase stress, actually. So we want to be able to monitor that imagery very carefully. The last thing we want to do is create added anxiety, added stress just over what we're picturing in our heads. Some implementation, practice in many settings. You want to practice in a loud setting, in a quiet setting, definitely different settings, be able to experience the different sorts of atmospheres. Aim for a relaxed concentration. Breathe, kind of like yoga, Zen, that sort of stuff. Establish realistic expectations. Again, talking about being positive and being realistic, setting those realistic goals in mind. Vivid and controlled images, nothing too wild, nothing too extravagant. Don't imagine yourself throwing and there's lasers going everywhere. Woo! Nope. Actual real life atmosphere. Apply imagery to specific situations, putting yourself in that shoes. I'm in finals, it's my last throw, I gotta perform at my best. Go out there, focus on that. And then maintain positive focus. Don't imagine yourself failing. Be positive with your imagery. That's all I got for you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And anyone have any questions? Otherwise, thank you all.